Okay, so in this video, we're going to go over the importance of teamwork, the importance of having a team. I know that there are a lot of people in the company waiting for the tournament to start because they believe that they're going to go in there and they're going to win the tournament. And they're not thinking about the importance of having a team. And while I commend you for thinking that you're just going to go in there and win the grand prize and that's going to be easy, it's not practical or logical to think that way, and you're really just leaving money on the table if you do think that way. Even if you do win the tournament out of all the people that are playing, there's still money that you would have not made that you could have made if you just would have built a team. Aside from the fact that your team can actually help you in the tournament, the fact is that the majority of the prize money isn't the grand prize. There's a whole bunch of prizes that are given out in all the tournaments, and they combine to a heck of a lot more than what the number one player wins. So somebody who wins that, yeah, they get a huge amount of money, but somebody who won that and had a team could win even more money, and those who do both could win even more money. But we're going to talk about what it means to be a professional gamer and the importance of being an agent. Now, what we can see here is Sweet Sugar Smackdown. We're in the back office. It looks just like the one that everyone has, even when a tournament isn't going. You can see the map and everything, but there's a little difference, and that's that little icon in the bottom right hand of the screen. Now, it might not look like that. It might look like it could be anything, but that's where it's going to be. So if there's not a tournament going, there's not one there, and if there is, then there is one there. In this particular case, this is an alpha tournament. We're testing, what we're doing here is we're not testing the game, we're testing the advertisers that we're implementing in there, making sure that the ads show when they're supposed to, because all the prize money, all the entry fees, as you might say it all comes from the advertising. So no advertising not functioning properly means no prize money. So that's what we're testing in this alpha tournament. But this gives me an opportunity to show you what it'll be like when a tournament is actually going, and again discuss the benefit of having a team. So if you go here, you can see that you can view your downline. Okay. But in order to have a downline, you have to be an agent. And to be an agent, you have to have your web-based app. With your web-based app, you can share that on any platform, on any device, whether it's a computer, no matter what kind of phone or operating system. It could be a Mac, it could be a PC, it could be an Android, it could be a Kindle, iPhone, whatever. Okay? So in order to be an agent, and what does an agent mean? An agent means somebody who gets paid when other people win. Okay, so an agent, you have to have your web-based app, and that gives you your web. And so your web it's different for us, for agents, because normally an agent has to find their own clients, and they get a percentage of what their players win. In football, they earn a percentage. Actors, agents, they earn a percentage. It comes from the player or the actor or whatever. It comes out of their money. And this, it doesn't. If you win the money, you keep all of the money. We pay your agent. And the difference here is with agents, only one person gets paid. We pay 7 levels of agents. So, or 7 levels of gamers. You can actually win tons of money, far more money than the grand prize, without ever playing this game. How? By building a team of agents and players and earning their money. So first, I want to talk about what does it mean to become a professional player. A professional player is someone who makes their living, gets paid to play games in this particular case. So that's not new. How hard it is, how easy it is, rather, is what's new here. Okay, so to become a professional gaming agent in a digital game, you have to either pay to enter a tournament, and you would get one shot at that tournament, and then you'd have to wait for another tournament. In our tournaments, they're completely free, and you can keep entering and keep entering and keep entering. As long as there are seats in the tournament, you can keep trying to get one. If you make it into the tournament, you're guaranteed to win a cash prize. And depending on how you rated in the tournament, how well your score was, is how much money you will actually get. So, so in other games and other tournaments, for example, if you want to become a professional gamer and you want to get paid, be on a team, they get paid. They have to, one, they've got to prove they're good enough. Okay, so they got to go out there and they got to play 24/7 whenever they're not sleeping. They got to be playing, and they got to start showing up on the leaderboards in these different tournaments. Okay, these qualifying tournaments, and they got to win the qualifying tournaments to get into the other tournaments that people are looking for. So there's lots of tournaments that they have to compete in and win in order to get to the point where anybody's looking at them. So once they get to that point, they also need to go out and do things like make videos, brand themselves, get themselves known so that someone sees them. Yeah, they might see them on the board, but just because they're a good player doesn't mean they're the kind of person that they're looking for on their team. Because in those particular teams, it's all about popularity. It's all about, what kind of presence you have. And so just because you're a good player doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get picked up for a team. But if you do get picked up on a team, then you're going to get paid depending on your position in the team whenever the team wins. Okay? And what do you do in a team? Okay, so in a lot of these, you go to a team house, you live at the team house, you play, again, 24/7, but you're playing with your team members. You're learning from each other, you're helping each other, you're competing together in these different, so that your team actually goes into the tournament. And then how you get paid is depending on your position. So the team leader is going to get paid the most amount of money, and because it's sort of a political thing, he's became team leader because he's proved himself. He's been doing it for a long time. He's got proper stage presence, and it doesn't matter if during the tournament he sat on his butt, didn't do much. You did everything. You carried the whole team. He's still going to be the one that makes all the money. You're going to make a smaller amount of money. Although they make a lot of money, it's definitely worth doing because, like I said, they can even somebody on a good team, somebody at the bottom of the team can make a couple $100,000 a year. Okay. But it's a lot of work. Takes years and years and years and years to do. Okay. This is totally different. You don't have to prove yourself first before you go in. You can just go in and prove yourself. Okay. You can just go in and say, I'm good enough, and go in. You're going to start showing up on the boards, and the whole world's going to see, hey, this person's really good. We were having a conversation just on this alpha test when somebody was trying to figure out who this one particular player was. Everybody was like, who is that? And everybody's asking the same question, who is that person? And that will happen for anybody playing, because who is that person? Why are they asking? Because they keep smacking them down, okay? So what we're going to show you here is, one, just give you a sneak peek on how the tournament works. I can do that at the same time. And show you the benefits of having a team. Like I said, the idea for some people of sharing your secrets on a particular level or something like that, they're like, oh, well, they're going to beat me. Okay, if I give them my secrets, then they're going to beat me. Yeah, but your odds of winning it all are better with a team. Okay, and who's going to win if you've got a team of 20 or 30 people and they all know the same secrets? Well, who's going to win? Well, whoever is the best is going to win. But you have advantages to having a team that you don't have when you're playing alone. But again, so if you have a team of players, and you work real hard and your team wins, well, who's going to win the most? Well, the person who did the most work, the one who got the highest score, they're going to win the jackpot, right? Who also can win a lot of money? It could be the agent that built the team. They might not play at all, but they're really good at doing what an agent does. Whether it's just, to say what an agent does. In this case, what an agent does is so minimal that It's anybody can do it, and that is just share it with others, and they share it with others, and they share it with others, and you have this huge team. But you can go beyond that type of teamwork to really working to push your team forward, and that's what professional gamers do. And that's where the money that they are paid for to be on the team, their living expenses and all this other stuff, are actually paid by advertisers, because they want to brand that top team. Okay. And that's absolutely something that can happen to you here as well. You build a good team, and advertisers start going, hey, I want to sponsor that team. Then, well, what's going to happen? Because the whole world can see what the team is doing. You don't have to be on that team to see what that team is doing. You just have to know who's on the team. So, and a advertiser may go, I want to brand that team. I want them to wear my shirts and, that kind of thing. And that can happen. So what happens when these advertisers start stepping up going, hey, I want to brand that team, and you don't have a team? I want to brand teams, but you don't have a team. So what do you do now? Go back and start, building a team. So it's always good to have a team, even if you're not going to share your secrets. But I do recommend that you do. Okay, so how would that work? So you built your team, and then you can get together at a cafe, at a restaurant, at someone's house. You can do that. You can, since it's played on a phone, everybody can bring their devices. It's not like, a lot of these gaming things where you can only meet in a certain place. You can meet wherever the heck you want with this, and do that. You could also, if you have a global team, you could use WoW or Skype to communicate with them. And that, if you have a team, you should definitely have a live communication so that you have access to them 24 hours a day in case you're needed, okay? And again, with the team players that play these other games, they're locked down in that house. They have to be there in order to get paid. You don't have to do that with this, okay? So there's so many. This is so much better than any other form of professional gaming out there. So what I'm gonna do here is if in the bottom of the screen, the bottom right hand corner, I'm gonna click that. Now, if you are already if you already have your web-based app, then what you're going to do when you click that is you're going to use your login for that for your web-based app. If you found the game through the store, then obviously I recommend that you go get that app so that you are an agent as well, for the reasons that I just stated. But for those who find it in the store, they're not going to know about it. Maybe they didn't see this video or any of the other videos. They're going to register to get in, okay? But if you already have the Your Web-based app, you are an agent, and you should log in with your same username and password. We're the first company in the world to bridge the gap between mobile and the digital, between PCs, basically from computers to mobile devices. If you have the Your Web-based app, you can build a team no matter what platform that they're on, by using the Your Web-based app, which is for our agents. Okay, so who's in your team? It could be other gamers, it could be other agents. It's anybody that's in your web. Your web is 7 levels. Okay. So the first ring is the first ring is the people that you told. The next ring is the people they told. The next ones they told. And that can become very huge, very, very fast. For example, if you had 10 and they had 10 and they had 10, you're talking about over 11 million people. Okay? There's no limit. There's 6 degrees of separation between you and every person on Earth, which means technically everybody could go into your web. However, because we're giving you 7 degrees. However, that's not likely to happen, because in order for that everybody to be in there, you'd have to be the first person, and everybody would have to stay within those 7 levels. But the point is that it doesn't take a lot of people in order to have a huge team. And what does a huge team mean? It means more money to you, because it means more people that you get a cut of their earnings. okay, that you earn 10% of their earnings. All right. So I'm already logged in. You must be logged in to get into the tournament. Okay. But in this particular, I already have it logged in so that because it's a video and I don't want to show the password. So when I click it, and you don't have to log out, you can stay logged in. Even if you shut the app, you need to shut the app when you're not playing because it's an app. It's not a program, and an app is just a small version of a computer program. So to leave an app running while you're playing and then when you're not playing, leaving it open is the same as leaving your computer on for weeks at a time and not rebooting it. You're going to start to see bugs, things freezing up and stuff like that. It happens a lot quicker in an app because a phone doesn't have the same processing power and brain power that a computer does. So when you're not playing, you should close the game completely. You don't need to log out. When you open the game again, it will take you back to where you are. I'll just illustrate that for you here. I'm going to close it, go back to the game. When I click here, I open it, see I'm logged in. Okay, so now we're here on the tournament page. This is what you're going to see once you log in. If you click that for the first time and you're not logged in, then as I said, you're going to see the login and register. So if you already have the Your Web-based app, then you're just going to use that username and password to log in. If you do not, then you're going to register, okay? But like I said, to not get the Your Web-based app and become an agent is because you're going to tell people about this, even if they just ask you about it, okay? And even if you only tell one person, they're going to tell people and they're going to tell people and they're going to tell people, and you're just throwing money away. It's money that you would have made had you just took a few minutes and got the app, okay? So another thing about a team is that this is one game. This is Sweet Sugar Smackdown. But we have another game, 7 Degrees, and we have other games in development. Your team, it doesn't matter what they're playing. If they win in any of them, then you can earn. They could all be playing on all of the games. You know, oh, I'm going to come over here and play, and then I'm going to go play around over there, and then I'm going to play around over there, and it's all the same team. Okay? And that doesn't happen anywhere else in any other thing. Okay, and really it's because the technology isn't available. We're the only ones that have this technology to do this, and we're not about to tell our secrets to anyone. So it's likely to stay that way, God willing. Okay, so in this particular thing here, it tells me what level I'm on. Okay, so in the tournament, like I said, qualifying for the tournament and the tournament is all in the same place. No professional player wants to play with somebody who is not qualified, who can't play, okay? That's why tournaments always require that people qualify, okay? And like I said, normally, depending on how big the tournament is, you would have to go win all these other tournaments before they'd even let you in. Even if you're paying, they don't care. You might be like, well, here's my $10,000. Yeah, you're not qualified to enter the tournament. We're the only ones that put it all into one place. So you're going to qualify here, and you're going to play the tournament here as well. So let's look at how that will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here. Okay, so these first 9, these are qualifiers. The first 2 are eliminators. What that does is it gets rid of people using bots. Okay, there's more people playing on these first two levels. Basically, what it does is it keeps people who will cheat, which is a lot of people, from cheating the legitimate players. So the first 2 are qualifying type things. It just gets rid of bots essentially. Okay, if we didn't have these 2 functioning this way, then people would be able to come in and cheat and steal, you know, the championships and stuff like that from you. So the first 2 are always going to be qualifiers, which means you have to play against more players in order to progress to the next level. In this alpha tournament, those are both set at 10, while 3 through 9 are all set at 3. And then this is an alpha tournament. The numbers are much higher in an actual tournament, but like I said, we're just testing advertising here. So so there's not a lot of people that participate in an alpha tournament. And then number 10 is the important one. That's the actual tournament. Okay. So once you, it's important for you to keep an eye on this one here because that's going to tell you how many seats are available. Now, this is a newly started alpha tournament, so there's nobody here yet, okay, because they're working their way up. So before a tournament is launched, it's always going to show 10, okay, but there might be, say, 250 people in the tournament, okay? Until these first 10 fill up, you're not going to see 11, 12, or whatever show up, okay? So it also doesn't mean that if there's no scores here, it also doesn't mean no one's qualified. It means they haven't played yet, okay? So that's another thing to consider. So you want to keep an eye on this particular one, this particular board, because this is going to tell you if there are any seats left. Because the minute there are no seats left, the tournament ends because we already know who won. Okay? So you would keep an eye on this to see, you know, to motivate you, I guess, is the thing. And then if we go here, as I told you before, this is set up at 3. But you can see there's 10 scores. So in a real tournament, you're not going to see that because there will be none that's just 3. Okay, because lots of people will be playing. But in this particular case, then it is 3 in this alpha tournament. Okay, so a lot of people see this little heart and they think it means lives. It doesn't. It's just a pretty little graphic that we put in there to make the page look better. What the 3 indicates is that you've got 3 scores that you have to submit. So if you play this one, it's going to show you that it's going to change to 2. But it would be obvious because there will be 2 that aren't filled in yet. But like I said, we put it there to make it because it looks pretty. Okay, so it isn't lives like this over here, this pink heart. That's lives in the map, and this is a totally different thing. The tournament is totally different than the actual game, and you'll see that once you start playing. So we'll go back in here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how this works real quickly, and then to give you a little bit of background before I go into the team thing. So I click play. I muted it so that you could hear me. It says I can skip the video. I skip the video. And in this particular round, what I have to do is I have 10 moves, okay? And that's it. I've got 10 moves. Now, if this was Candy Crush or Bejeweled or something like that, the idea would be to clear the level, to do whatever it tells me, in this case, to get 1,000, okay? And then the most thing that it would be to get 3 stars. Beyond that, it doesn't matter. You don't win anything in those games, and so it doesn't really matter, okay? And since 3 stars as high as you can go, it really doesn't matter that you get higher than that. The difference here is it's all about your score, okay? Yes, you do have to complete the level, but if you don't complete the level, it'll just tell you to play it again, okay? So not completing the level doesn't hurt you like it does in those particular games. And you don't have to have a hugely high score, and I'm going to show you that in a second. You just have to beat the other players that are playing in that level. So in this particular one, I said this is the first level, and it's 10. So it means I got to beat 9 other players. So I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick so that you can see how it, like I said, give you a little more background information, so some of the things. And I'm not trying to get a high score here. I'm just trying to finish this level so that you can see how it is played, and then I'll discuss some strategies of why it's important to have a team. And I'm just saying it's better. If it wasn't better, there would be no teams in anything, okay? Try to play soccer by yourself, you know, or just against another person. It's going to be a lot harder game than playing with a team. So it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you can't win. It's just not as fun, and it's harder. So, so like I said, your goal to get the highest score out of the out of 10 people that are playing in that particular round. Okay? So we've done that. So now when I click next, it's going to take me out of the tournament, but I know I've got 2 more scores to play. So I will click it again. The score is there. Now I've got 2 more that I have to play. While I'll show up on the leaderboard, I'm going to show you that. Now, I may or may not show up on the leaderboard. I'm only going to show up on the leaderboard if my score is within the number of people who are playing. So in this case, it's 10, okay? So there could be 30 people playing. I'm only going to show up if I have a chance of winning, which means I'm one of the top 10. Okay, now in this particular, so you might see names come and go on here. You might see this one down here pop up to the top. Why? Because as you can see, I'm on here. I use this one here, Kitty 2, okay? I'm on here even though I'm not finished. So it's just letting the other players know, what's going on. Because if, for example, if this was the highest score and I do finish those 3 before this, then I would be the one to go to the next level. So, okay, so now I've got to play this. And like I said, even though I'm showing up on the leaderboard, even if I have the highest level out of all of them, if I don't complete this before 10, if I don't complete this before these 2 level players or 3 players, whatever, play, then the fact that I have that score and it beats Mimi 1, Mimi 1's still going to go. If Mimi 1 is the higher score, my score is not going to count because I'm not finished. What will happen is when I do finish, I'll go to the top of the new one because all these people will fall off and one will advance to the next level. So once you play the 3 scores in a live tournament, it will happen pretty quickly. You could sit there and wait, or you could check back. Then it's going to go, you'll have to close it and go back. You'll have to check it. To check this, I would have to close it and then open it back up to reset it. Or I could go to the leaderboard. It doesn't really matter where you go, but you have to leave this page for it to recheck the data. So how do I know if I won? For sure. When I come back here, these are all going to be 0 again. That means one of 2 things. I've either lost or I've won. And how do I know if I won? Well, in this particular case, this would now say level 2. If it said level 1, it means I lost because I was playing level 1. If it says level 2, it means I've won. And now I need to play level 2 in order for my scores to be counted. If I don't come back and I don't ever play this, well, what's going to happen is the tournament's going to end without me. Okay? So in order for your scores to be counted, you've got to play all 3 of them. So, and then I would show up on number 2. So, so let's go to the leaderboard and look at this and give you some examples of how a team might help you. So again, you talk about, you can send screenshots. Like if you're up at level, 4 or 5, you can send screenshots to your team and go, hey guys, this is what level 4 looks like. So they have an idea, so they can be prepared, kind of thing like that. So they can find that in the map and try to practice that until they get there, until they get to that level. But another thing is, see how Mimi is just slightly above Aramar and Hallback. If you look at this, you can see that that's really not that good of a score. In this particular case right now, it's enough to go to the next level, but somebody could take that score out. So what you do is you get your team members, you're like, look, I'm sitting at the top of the board, push me through. So they're going to come in and they're not going to try to get a high score. They're just going to try to play 3 scores really quick before somebody else comes in and gets a higher score. Because to get a high score, it takes time. You want to think and you're doing it slowly to get a quick score. You saw how quickly it took me to get a quick score. So they're helping their team members. Now you might go, well, then I can't play if I'm helping you. Well, not if you're closed out the board, because everyone else is going to fall back down and you can play again. So you're going to want your team to, you're going to want a team because you can help each other. And then once you get to the final round where the tournament actually is, right here, then you can all be on there. Okay, your whole team can be on there. And then you're not, helping each other or that sort of thing. You're helping each other to get to the tournament. Okay? Then when you actually get in the tournament, then you don't help each other. Okay? Then that's when you actually, are playing on your own, trying to win. Okay? But helping each other in your team, sorry about that, helping each other in your team helps you because what? Because you earn money when they do. You earn money when they do. So even if you did win first place, if they came in second, third, fourth, you're earning 10% of all those other prizes. So I really do recommend that you build a team. And you really, truly can or make your living playing this game, whether it's all by yourself, working really hard, practicing, or it's building a team and you all working together. But I will say that, and in a live tournament as well, in an actual, this is an alpha tournament, but in a real live tournament, let's go here. We need two other level ones to finish to close this out. Okay. So you could, again, if you have a big team, just get them to hurry and go in there, because this is another situation. Mimi does not have does not have a safe score. Sometimes it's a safe score. It's like 650, and nobody's gonna to beat that in this particular scenario. So it's a safe score, so it's nothing to worry about. But this particular case, your team member needs help because that score is not really high enough. And somebody sitting there practicing and playing and playing and playing and taking their time can go in and knock Mimi down. So that would be an instance of why having a team would be very, very important. And again, you're not hurting yourself by doing that. And then there was one other really important. Oh, I talked about the difference between this and other games that look similar to this. As you can see on this board, look how low the highest score is. That's because this particular level, like I said, it's about high score. It's not about how many stars you got or anything like that. It's about having a higher score than everyone else on that level that's playing at that level at that particular time. So one person may have beat that level because they got 680, where somebody else might have gotten it with 430. This particular level is a difficult level, not because it's hard to play. It's actually very easy to play. It's hard to score. You only have 5 moves. So getting 530 on 5 moves is impressive, but it's not super impressive. And so that would be an example of why you would want to have a team. You're increasing your odds. So, and people are going to do this. People are going to play this game professionally. So, like I said, the game is set up that anybody can come in and, the reality is if you're better than everyone else, you're going to be the one that wins. That's just simply it. This is not a game of chance. It is a game of skill. But it's not a kind of skill that anybody can't develop. Anybody that practices this game enough is going to be better than those who don't practice. That's simply the way that this type of game works. It isn't like poker or any of these other games that aren't truly skill-based, although under legal definition they are. With those, if you don't get the right cards or somebody's better at lying than you are, then you're going to lose. That is not, you could call lying a skill, but I, under my definition, don't call lying a skill. And as far as what cards you get, there's no skill to that. So this is actually a true skill-based game. So the people who are really taking it seriously are going to be the ones that win the money. And then in an actual tournament, you see tickets earned. In an actual tournament, when you get Smackdown from level 2 to 9, which is before you get into the tournament, you get tickets. The higher the level, the more tickets you win. So if you get smacked down on those levels, you'll get tickets. And at the end of the tournament, we draw a whole bunch of those tickets, and those people are given cash prizes. And you can win more than one. So if you've got, a couple hundred tickets, you can win. Your odds of winning are a heck of a lot better than someone who only has one ticket, and several of those tickets can win. So that's what the tickets earned is for. So I hope this helps, and I hope you really understand the benefits, and don't pass up the opportunity to build a team and to use a team. We already, even in this beta test, we already have teams in here that are working together, and like work, because they're gonna, obviously they didn't make a team for the tournament. They I mean, for the alpha tournament, they made it because they plan to have a team in the actual tournaments, and that is something that you should definitely do, because then you are acting like a professional as opposed to an amateur. So all right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.